Hi everyone, it's Sunday afternoon and I'm watching March Madness, probably along with a lot of you. I just returned from a week away at my Society of Decorative Painters chapters retreat, and I'm going to include some pictures of some things that we did there. And I taught my mixed media classes. One of them was Peacock Garden, the other one was a mixed media collage, and I'll show you pictures of the students and the paintings that they made. We also did some extra stuff, and this is one thing that I did. This is a card that I made. I did alcohol inks on acetate like packaging. It was clear, and then I took this Tim Holtz brush stamp from one of the new pieces. Oh, I can't remember what it's called right now. Artful something, but I'll put it on there. And I just love that stamp set, but this is what I did with it. And then I took my smallest thing from the medium mixage and also put it on there and made a card from it. I kind of think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to have a short video today and just show you a little bit playing with some cards. You know, it's always really good to have a stash of cards ready. And I'm going to show you what I used. I used the Tim Holtz mini blueprints, and I just only used the butterfly and the nest off of there. I also used some sayings from the new set, Simple Sayings, and this is pretty good. I like this. It's going to be very versatile for me, I think. And then there's that label stamp down there too if you want to use it. I also used several stamps from Our Daily Bread. I used the nail cross. Oops, no, I did not use that one because that one didn't turn out. I used the lily, and I used the grunge cross set. And then I have one other stamp that I have that I used also, and this is from Stampabilities, called Resurrection Cross. Okay, and I used these small wood stamps from Stampabilities to do some of my sentiments on the cards, and I used several distress markers. I did not want to use this time. I use my distress inks constantly. This time I decided I wanted to use some of the other inks that I have. So I used Memento today, Rich Cocoa, Desert Sand, Paris Dusk, and I think I used Bamboo Leaves. And then I used a color box chalk called Sea Crystal that's really kind of cool, that I just found out when I was just shopping around and ran across it. Okay, and the main star of our show today is the new Tim Holtz Movers and Shapers Cameo frame die. And I absolutely love this die. I'm going to get so much use out of it. This is how it looks, and you can use just any paper on it. It's got some things in there. Just use any kind of paper and it's going to look good. What I did was I took a Spellbinders die, small rectangle, and I even took a decoed one that but I didn't end up really using it because after I cut them out I kind of decided I liked the smooth edges better. So what you can do is you can put like this in the middle of your Cameo and build on that, or like in one of the examples I'm going to show you, you can just go right on the Cameo card. So let me show you what I've made. Because it's Palm Sunday and the week before Easter, then I made an Easter card. Now I messed up my liquid pearls right there. I used dark chocolate liquid pearls, and I messed it up and I tried to wipe them off and they didn't wipe off, so don't look there. Okay, so this is the Our Daily Bread Grunge Cross set, and what I did is I took a Cameo, cut out the Cameo frame, and then I stamped the grunge cross stamp on it that has the printing in the back that has all of the marks and things on it. And then I cut out with my die that comes from Our Daily Bread also. I cut out a grunge cross, just the cross, and then I stamped and then I stamped it on a piece of craft paper, and then I cut it out first, and then I stamped it on it, and when I put it on here, then I can just stamp right down on top of it. Actually, what I did was let me put some ink on here, and I'll show you what I did, how I did it. I'm inking my stamp, and then I pressed my grunge cross right down on top, and then just held it and rubbed until the ink transferred. And kind of missed a spot right there, but you get the idea. So that's how I did that. And then I took pop dots and put it on top of there, and it gives a really nice dimension. I used, let's see, that was rich cocoa, and I used desert sand to go around the Cameo frame and around the card base, and then I used my corner rounder on all four corners, and then I stamped one of the sentiments from that set, which says, when once the call of God comes, begin to go and never stop going. And that quote is by Oswald Chambers. So this makes a really, really elegant card. These are clean and simple cards too. This is mostly just some stamping and coloring without a whole lot of embellishments. So now let me show you that this is the nail cross stamp that I used here, and I cut the Cameo frame out of some wood grain pattern paper, and then I stamped the cross on one of my pieces that I'd cut out. I stamped it in rich cocoa, and I used the desert sand to go around the edges, and I also used the desert sand to darken my pattern paper. It was a lot lighter, and I felt like it didn't really go, so I darkened it with an applicator and just went all the way around. So this is another way that you can use this Cameo frame, and it would fit right onto this card again, like that. Okay, pretty nice, huh? One more for Easter. Let me move this one. This is my stamp that was from Stampabilities, the Resurrection Cross. And how I did that was what I did was I used my distress markers, and I used walnut stain, that's finished photo, but I used walnut stain to ink the cross, and then I used milled lavender to ink the cloth, and I used what was it? I think it was wild honey for the I think this is the crown of thorns. What I found out was I used my memento, but I had forgotten that it's not archival, so it does run when I use my distress markers on it. But that turned out not to be too bad, because what I did was when I got it stamped on here, then I took vintage photo and antique linen and colored in the light parts, and then I took picket fence and added it on top of my cloth on the milled lavender, and it kind of pops up off of the Cameo frame. I also used the desert sand to go around the edges, and then the Tim Holtz stamp set comes in because I used where it said always and forever up here. And then that's when I took my small stamps, and I used all capital letters, and I did my Forgiven in an arch to kind of match this arch, and I think it turned out really, really nice. There seems to be a glow around the cross, and that just seemed to be perfect for me, so I'm very happy with this one. So even though I could have and should have used archival ink, it turned out that I could work with it, and I kind of like this look after all, instead of having had it be perfect, because it is a rugged cross. There's nothing pretty about the cross. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit. So I'm showing you how the Cameo die can be elegant, but now I want to show you how it can be pretty and fun. So here's my Cameo die with a light colored pattern paper in a stripe, and I used my Our Daily Bread Lily stamp. Here's that one, and I colored on my stamp with, first I colored on it with bundled sage, and I didn't really like that look, so I wiped it off. I stamped it on a practice, so I wiped it off, and then I came back and just used my sea crystal to stamp the entire flower, and I really liked that because it picked up this color of the stripe in here. And then I went back to my Tim Holtz Simple Sayings and found Life is Good, and I stamped that. Also, I just made a little piece of cardstock for my banner, and I stamped that also in the sea crystal, and I popped up the rectangle. I think it's on, yeah, it's on pop dots, and then I rounded my corners and used the sea crystal with an ink applicator to go around the edges, and I really like that color, the aqua and the brown and the beige. It's pretty. I think it's pretty. So, and then one last Cameo, so let's go bright. Okay, so this is some pattern paper that has some glitter on it, and it's bright, and I hadn't used it, and I thought I would see what it looked like as a Cameo, and I loved it as this Cameo frame. So I put a white rectangle on top right there, and then I took Paris Dusk. It's kind of a navy blue. I thought I was picking up black, and I didn't, but it turns out okay, because the black stripe in here can probably pull black or blue, either one. So I stamped the let me see, let me find this. I stamped the butterfly and the nest onto this card, but I also made sure that the blueprint part goes over onto the card, and then I stamped them again on a piece of scrap paper left over from cutting out all of my rectangles, and I fussy cut out the nest and the butterfly. So when I was stamping the nest, what I did was I used my vintage photo to color in this part of the stamp. I colored in the nest part and the shadow part, and then I used broken china, tumbled glass, to color on the eggs, and then I stamped it that way. With the butterfly, I colored on the stamp with black, and then I stamped it, and then I came back, and this is where the colors really ran. I was going for an orange, and I used Rusty Hinge and Spice Marmalade, but because the ink ran, it got a lot darker. But when I was going to do it over again, but then when I put it up against this card, I found that it worked okay. It worked with this, and it worked with the background colors, so I left it. And then I stamped again from here. I stamped Life's Moments, and I rounded its corners, trimmed it down, and cut a little banner edge, and I offset that just a little. So if I had a white card, I just have this ivory one, but it will work. So then I would put it on like this, and this banner would still be coming off of the Cameo frame, but not off of the card itself. And then I could also, I would probably, I think, do the card edges in the sea crystal. Let's see what it looks like, the sea crystal. So that looks pretty good too. But I think maybe some kind of sherbet color or something like that would look better on around the edges, because it looks okay, but I kind of like it like this, and maybe with a sherbet color. So that's all I have today. You can just sit down with a few die cuts, and you can have your basic shape like the Cameo frame, and several stamps sitting around you, and you can come up with several cards. Now, I didn't put these on cards yet because I thought it would be just nice to go ahead and have them hanging around for when I need them. Then I can decide what color and what shape and size of card I'm going to use. So, but I've got card starters already. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the pictures from my retreat. Have a good week. Try to stay safe in the snow. In my area, the sleet started about an hour ago, and it's snowing now. And yes, it's 3 days after spring started, but we're in line to get 6 to 10 inches. So if everybody that's in the line of the snowfall, stay inside, stay warm, and stay safe. And I'll see you next Monday. Bye.